Yes, so good evening, my people. Mo kí yín gbogbo ibi tí ẹ ti ní àǹfààní àti máa wò mí. Ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káalẹ́, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kú ìrọ̀lẹ́. Thank you for joining me again tonight on another special edition of the Jagbajanti Show. It's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. I can see you, my lovelies. My sister Dayolor, even though she hasn't left any message, I know she's on the show. PCR Rogues. Èèyàn mi tó sure. I have my sister also on board, Olajimoke Adeshewa. Thank you for joining tonight. Yeah, so your punctuality is perfect tonight, you know. You turned up early. that student that always throws in at break time. But today, you showed up on time. Good to have you on board. Tonight we will have another interesting discussion, as usual. And as you have seen from the topic, we'll be looking at homeschooling versus mainstream education. It's going to be interesting because I have someone special on the show tonight who is going to be joining me in this discussion. I'll bring her on when the time is right. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé yẹn máa bá mi pèrò sọ́kọ̀. Help me share the show on your platforms. Help me send the links to people you think might be interested in what we are discussing. And spread the word, let other people know that, something great like this is going on. Ẹ̀yin nìkan ẹ má máa dá mùlá ẹ̀ jẹ o. Let's spread the word, Mojúbà ọmọdé, mojúbà àgbàlagbà, mojúbà ọkùnrin, mojúbà obìnrin o. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe mi, mojúbà Elédùmarè, ọba tó ní kọ́kọ́rọ́ ọjọ́ lọ́wọ́, òjí kùtùkùtù fàṣọlá bora ọba mi jìnwìnjìnwìn ìlẹ̀kẹ̀. Agbọ́n rí kọjá ọgbọ́n, ìbá ẹni náà tí kì í bẹ́nikẹ́ni ṣàpapín ògo Ọ̀ọ̀ni àgbà tó ní gbogbo lẹ̀kílẹ̀. Ọba tó fún mi lóhùn tó ní kí n máa wí, kábíyèsí rẹ̀ Èdùmàrè. Right. We will quickly get to the commercial room where Yetti's Kitchen is waiting for us, and by the time we return, we will kickstart the show proper. Engineer Bangbase, okay.
Yetti's Kitchen, ilé oúnjẹ àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tó kalẹ̀ sílùú Manchester. Chilled out Afro and English fusion bar with great food, music, and movies. Kò sí oúnjẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ ẹ ò bá lọ́dọ̀ wọn. Serving the best fusion of African and English delicacies bíi jollof rice, ẹ̀wà àgànyìn, ẹ̀fọ́ rírò, jerk chicken, suya, ayámáṣe, goat pepper soup, bọ́gà lóríṣiríṣi àti àwọn ọtí ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe fẹ́ sí ni, eating, takeaway or delivery gbogbo ẹ̀ ló bá wọn lára mu. Oríṣiríṣi ètò ìgbádùn ni wọ́n sì ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wọn bíi movie night, live jazz music, game night, àti Lego play area for children to relax while you eat. Their opening times are Monday to Sunday, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Address one, 299 Liverpool Road, Eccles, Manchester, M300QN. Telephone 0161 706 0062 tàbí 074 603 53448. Ẹ tún lè kàn sí wọn lórí email wọn ní food@yettiskitchen.com. For more information, visit their website www.yettiskitchen.com. Yetti's Kitchen, the best Afro-British restaurant in Manchester.
Yes, so thank you very much for staying on the show. We are back from the commercial room. And that is Yetti's Kitchen for you. The sponsor of this special show. Massive credit to them for doing this since we started. Contact them for your food needs. If you have events, they can cater for your event. If you have garden party and you need small chops, if you have large event occasion and you need your guests to be catered for, please contact them and they will meet all your needs. Also, you can order on their website and they deliver UK-wide. Wherever you are, whatever your order is, it will be delivered to your doorstep. They accept Nigeria payment on their website for those who are visiting and only have their Nigerian card with them. Also, the book put together by Chef Yetti is still on sale, African Vegan. It's a compilation of different delicacies from all over Africa, Nigeria, and all around the world. And these are step by step guide, you can follow so that you can improve your diet. All right, let's get into the show tonight. Our topic for tonight is homeschooling versus mainstream education. Okay, let me start from here. We all have dreams. We'll all have, plans. We'll all have things we want to do when we um, grow up. So one of mine was, I've always admired where my children are, privately tutored, and they are, you know, their brain is conditioned to match what they really want to become in the future. So that was my plan. I thought, I'll be able to, give that to my kid, because to be honest, attending schools, attending universities, I found out that we were doing so many stupid things that, well, I call them stupid, that didn't really fit into what I was going to become in future. No one cared about what I carry on my inside. We were just given, a general syllabus to follow. Wọ́n ní ká máa lame gbogbo àwọn grasshopper àti gbogbo àwọn hibiscus flower àti gbogbo àwọn kan nonsense bẹ́ẹ̀. And at the end of the day, a data gan gbogbo find x find y tán ní ká máa ṣe gan àárí kankan ló ń gbòòrò. And most of the things I end up doing today are things that I never learned in the four walls of an institution. There are things I learned myself. There are things I watch other people do. There are things I self-taught myself. And as such, I thought, you know what, I wouldn't want my kids to follow my footsteps. But rírò ń tènìyàn ṣíṣe ń tọlọ́run. By the time tí mo máa bímọ, when I start setting up my family, ayé mi gan ò tiẹ̀ tí stable, ayé gan ò jókòó talkless pé màmá sọ̀rọ̀ private tutor kan whatever thing like that. So gbogbo plan ṣe bó ṣe dàrú nìyẹn. But coming across somebody very close to me in my circle that is effectively doing this for our kids, I kind of find it really, really fascinating, because I thought, this is exclusively reserved for, people in the upper class of the society. But I thought, you know what, if she can do it, I think it's something that we should discuss. Perhaps people who are just setting up their families can take one or two things away from our discussion tonight, and they will be able to, maybe put this into their own plans and for their kids if they find it useful. And people who are, who have been giving this a thought in the comfort of their homes can maybe eventually be pushed or be encouraged to take that step. It wasn't easy getting hold of her, especially at this time of the night, to join the show, because she's a woman of many parts. She's involved in so many things, and when I say so many things, I mean so many things. Èmi mo rò pé mo jẹ́ octopus. Àwọn eléyìí wọ́n tún octopolize jù mí lọ. So my guest tonight is no other person than the owner and the head chef of Yetti's Kitchen, the official sponsor of Jagbajanti's show. She is a wife, a mother, she's a chef, she's into IT, cybersecurity. Interestingly, she's also a singer and a songwriter. So you can see pé olóyè púpọ̀ ni. She's very loaded and she's a strong woman. She'll be joining me on the show tonight as we discuss homeschooling versus mainstream education. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me tonight, Yetti Tabai. Hello, my sister.
Thank you, sir.
It's
Good
a
evening, my
pleasure to
people.
have you on the show tonight. And
My pleasure.
I don't know, maybe I missed something out of introduction. So if you don't mind, can you please help me perfect the introduction I just did about you? Perhaps I missed something out or I exaggerated on something. Over to you.
Not at all, not at all. You definitely covered everything as much as airtime allows. But yeah, thank you very much for the
Okay.
introduction. I'm honored.
Thank you very much for finally agreeing to join me on the show. I know this is not the best of time for you, especially you must have used up yourself during the day. But just just spare me some energy for the next couple of hours as
Couple
we
of
run through
hours.
this.
Just so you didn't tell me that one.
Yes. Well, don't worry. I won't take too much of your time, but just
It's
stay with
fine.
me.
It's fine.
When
I
I'm done,
appreciate it.
I will squeeze as much as I can from you. But once I'm done, I'll allow you to go.
It's fine. I'm
Right.
here for it. I'm here for it. You're doing a great job, by the
Great.
way.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's all down to you for your support. I know it's not easy, but you've been there. Thank you very much for providing this platform and everybody on the show. Really, really, really appreciate you. Um, thank you very much. Without you, without your push, this wouldn't have happened. Right. Let's get proper into the discussion. I've just told you about, my own plan, even though it didn't eventually happen, but I had it in mind to, homeschool my kids or private tutor them. But kò ṣẹlẹ̀ torí mi gan mo ṣì ń gbá struggle ayé ṣì ń gbá mi síbí gbá mi sọ̀hún, so it didn't work. So let me put the question to you. What informed your own decision to homeschool your children? Perhaps let me also ask, were they in the mainstream education before you pulled them out? Or at what time did you, come up with that decision to say, okay, this is how I want them educated?
Okay. Uh, for me, from a very long time, I've always been somebody who questions the status quo. It's not something. If everybody's going left, I'm questioning why is everybody going left.
Mm,
That's the way things work for me. So at the
mm,
age of 4, I was somebody that, like you said, I worked in IT, working as a Scrum Master, project manager, business analyst, doing all of that, following the 9 to 5 life. And
mm,
while doing that, I could afford to put my children in private education, meaning that
mm,
I have 3 boys. One is 12, the other is 9, and the other is 1 year old. So my 12-year-old is your A student. He could function in an educational environment and excel, and he could function at home schooling and excel. So that's that. When we come to the second child that I had, a 9-year-old, he's somebody that gets distracted easily. So
mm,
he's the kind of person that if he's in a classroom environment, if there's a fly on the wall, he'd be looking at the fly and wondering why the fly is on the wall. If somebody is being naughty on the right hand side of the classroom, he's staring at the person and wondering, oh, what's happening over there? So by the time he finished looking at the fly on the wall and is looking at the person who is being naughty, he has missed everything the teacher has said in front of the class. So at the age of 4, while taking my children to private education and I was hustling and bustling doing the 9 to 5 like every other parent, I came home and I'm like, I showed my child A to Z and I said to him, what letter is this? I pointed at a G and his response was, this is B. And he was 4 years old. Okay. I then pointed at Y. I said, what letter is this? His response was F. This is letter F. So in other words, the way they say it in Yoruba, or how did they even say or whatever. I'm not very good with Yoruba. But that's my it's not so about your work, but germinate to a different tree. You understand? But when you put money in fire, you definitely cannot reciprocate to something better in life.
The ashes.
Except you want to use ashes for a better thing. But at least about we can use to recycle. You understand? Good. So for me, from the age of 6 months, in the name of this hustle and bustle, I can't sit down at home. Let me go and make money. From the age of 6 months, I put him in a private nursery school. What is the class size? 10 students are in class. When we now compare that to public education, on average, we have 20 to 30 students in class.
Okay.
So for me, my brain just couldn't understand how much I was paying per month for this child from the age of 6 months all the way to 4 years old, where he was in a class that's not overcrowded. So I couldn't understand how a teacher could possibly be in front of the class and did not pick up that, this child is lacking behind, number one. I couldn't understand how every month or every quarter, that's when they normally produce all these results for all these children. Every quarter, they'll produce a student report and they'll tell me, oh, your child is in band G, your child is in band C. Well, first up, is in the bottom, it's not in the top. What come of funny bands? And it's these bands they used to cover parents' eyes. Good. And obviously, if you question it to say, oh, it won't band C, it won't band G, oh, it just means the child is a bit more creative. It means the child is this. What must you book back? You will not even know that no, your child is falling behind. Oh, we don't really like to explain what a band C is. We don't really like to explain what a band G is because then it begins to form segregation. And when we don't want to segregate the child to make it look like we're labeling the child, so we just put them in bands just to encourage their artistic or creative side. Hello, what does that mean? Is my child first position or is he 100th position? Can you please be specific? Because as Africans, I want to know how well my child is doing, especially if I'm paying extra money for one-on-one tuition. In a class of 10, you have 2 teachers in class. So meaning 5 students to 1 teacher, another 5 students to another teacher. Surely, teaching 5 students, it can be tedious, but at the age of 4, from the age of 6 months, on average, I'm paying a minimum of £1,000. And you're telling me at the age of 4, he cannot figure out what alphabet I'm pointing at. So for me, that was a failure on the part of mainstream education. And for me, I blamed myself at that point. Funny enough, when it happened, I didn't go to school to storm and have a conversation with the head teacher. I didn't do that. Because, like they say, charity begins at home. So for me, I blamed myself immediately, which is, you know what? I don't mess up. Because it's one thing for a teacher to teach your child, it's another thing to now follow up at home as a parent.
Exactly.
But like you said, everybody has so many things. You are paying this bill, you are paying that bill, you are running every race that every parent should run. You're juggling so many jobs, you're juggling many children if it's more than one child you have. So I was spending on average 1 hour, 2 hours per day. And that's let's remember that 1 hour or 2 hours per day is divided attention because I also have other children. I have phone calls that I need to pick up. I have family members that I need to catch up with. So even if I'm spending 1 hour, 2 hours per day, when they come home at 5, before they go to bed, those 2 hours is still divided attention. So
mm,
that long, I blamed myself that, you know what, you're definitely not doing something right. And it's best that
mm,
you take your child's future in your own hands because you cannot blame a teacher for this. So at that
mm,
point, it happened
mm.
to coincide with me meeting online. I'm somebody that I don't mind approaching anybody online, but I'm very shy in person to walk up to anybody. So
Mm.
that's one thing I do. So at that point, I read about a story in BBC about an 11 or is it 12-year-old that passed, that got into university at the age of 12. I think. I
Mm.
think it was the age of 12. She got into university to study further math at the age of 12. And I just couldn't understand. How do you get into university at the age of 12? Doesn't she have to do GCSE?
I think it's a Nigerian family. I heard about
Exactly,
one
exactly.
story like
Yeah,
that as well. Yeah.
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 So I couldn't understand how. Maybe they have to do GCSE like everybody else. Maybe they have to.
Mm.
So that made me start questioning that. How come she got to do it and got into university at 12 without going through the process that everybody else is following? So this is what I meant when I started this conversation by saying, when everybody's going left, I'm questioning why is everybody going left.
Mm.
So when I read that story, it wasn't just a yeah, to God be the glory, like every other person who would read that story and comment. I
Mm.
was more like, what did they do differently that allowed them to jump and pass, if that's the English
Mm.
word I can use?
Mm.
Why did they not need to go through the typical educational structure? And yes, I now went further. I Googled the life of that family. Me, if not to do investigative journalism on top of my children and upon my life, I will do it.
Mm.
And because I have a law degree as well, research no desire me. I go sit down on top of the person's destiny for 1 week to find the person online. So after
Oh.
a long time of almost 1 week, I even remembered I even drove down to their house. Yes, that's how far I found them. I wasn't I wasn't faced by the fact that we lived 5 hours away from wherever Google told me they lived,
Mm.
right? I drove down hoping that by chance, if I'm just driving in front of their house, I will see them
You
walking
might see
outside.
that. Mm.
And then I'll go and kneel down and beg them that please, the secret that you know that I don't know, please reveal it to me. Because obviously, sending them an email is going to spam. I now drove, me and my husband, we drove 5 hours to go and drive by. But when we got there, we did not see anybody. That then led us to the Imafidons. I'm sure you know about the Imafidons. They're still in the news till now. They're still doing great things. The
Mm.
daughters are still doing great things.
Mm.
Um, and then after the Imafidons, I really wasn't getting what I wanted in terms of answers. When I got to the Macedons, it was a typical class size of almost 30 children, everybody trying to be the star in the class. And that did not work for
Mm.
me again. So it still brought me back to
Mm.
how did these people do it at the age of 12? So in the end, I sent them an email pleading, added pictures of my children, added pictures of me and my family so they don't think I'm a stalker. And then I sent her an email. It took her about a week. She responded to say she's really sorry for responding so late, but this is what she did. She homeschooled her children, blah, 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 blah. And from homeschooling her children, she registered them to do their exams earlier than planned. Of course,
Mm.
some schools said no, that they wouldn't allow the children to do GCSEs at the age of 11 or 10 because that's just not what the school stands for. But some schools were like, cool. On the day we are doing GCSEs, everybody else will be in uniform. Hope you don't mind your own child being in a different attire and at the back of the exam hall. She said she's fine, that she doesn't mind. Child sat at the back of the class. Child did the GCSEs at an earlier age than their own counterparts. Passed the GCSEs, got into university. And of course, 95% of all universities said, no, we don't do 11-year-olds in university. We can't take on this child. But she found one that said yes. And now the child has graduated earlier than everybody else. So that's how I stumbled homeschooling because she gratefully responded to my email. We had a great relationship for about 2 years. And yeah, and that's how I got into homeschooling and I knew it was possible. And since then, I've been crazy about it.
Great. Great. Thank you for taking us into details of how you came about it. Because obviously, what we find today is people getting somewhere without being able to, explain the journey to people. They
Mm,
just say grace. They just say we thank God. They just say well, I can ṣe náà ni. People should be able to explain their journey, and that is when we can know that your story is authentic, and that's why I allowed you to, give us that full detail so that people can know the effort you put into becoming or getting to the stage where you are today. Because many people want to copy, many people just want to do things because it's trending, but you had real cause to take this step, and you went all out to speak to somebody who have made a success out of it. Thank you very much. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, because obviously the private the homeschooling one I'm used to is, rich people hiring private tutor to come to their homes and, take their children on these various subjects, specialized subjects. But yours is different. You didn't hire a private tutor. You are taking the teaching yourself. So does this mean anyone can do this? Do you need a teacher training qualification, or anyone can just say, you know what? Oh yeah, ọmọ ẹ jókòó. Mo ti di teacher yín látòní o. Is that how it works?
Yes, I would answer your question. Yes, anyone can do it. Totally depends
Okay.
on your determination. A lot of homeschooling is mental strength, and mental strength, um, ability to be open-minded, that the journey is a never-ending journey. As well as you're homeschooling your children, you're also homeschooling yourself. So you need to be open-minded to understand that this is because I said so, full stop. This is very much, if you don't understand the subject enough, trust me, your children will never understand it.
Let me quickly come in there. When you said everyone, I think I beg to disagree. Because taking myself, for example, I don't think I have the grace, not the skill now. I don't think I have the grace to teach kids, because I think you need a different level of grace to be able to handle kids, to be able to teach them. So I know there are so many other, people like me who don't have that ability. So when you said everyone can do it, are you referring to, I don't know what you're referring to in particular that made you say anyone can do it? Because I know it's not easy to teach kids. Yeah, you can
Okay.
continue.
I mean, the delivery of the homeschooling can't be done by anyone, meaning that you could choose to do it yourself or you could choose to hire people to do it. So anyone can homeschool. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Okay. So, for
And
example, I am terrible at math.
okay.
I cannot do numbers to save my life. So I
how do you
outsource that
get
part.
around that?
My children have a math teacher who's based in Turkey, and he
Okay.
teaches them online. And we have tools to make sure, because initially when they started learning maths with him, everything was verbal in terms of he will share screen on Skype and they'll be looking at what he's doing, and he couldn't look at what they were doing because they were writing on paper. Are you seeing what I mean? They were writing on paper and then they will now explain to him what they've written down on paper, and I'm like, surely there's a better way around this. So obviously I had to get them a writing pad, or what I say, an artboard that you can connect to the computer, so that as they're working out the problems or solving the equations, he can see it in real time from wherever in the world that he is. So yes, aspects that I can't do myself, I outsource it. So that's to answer your question.
Okay, great. Thank you. We're getting somewhere. Because obviously, I know you won't. We won't have many parents who is like really smart to the point that they know everything. So you've clarified it that those Those ones you can't sort out, you outsource them. So how does everything work? Where do people start from? Do you need to get a permit from the Ministry of Education? Do you need to register somewhere? Do you need to inform, I don't know, who do you need to speak to say, you know what, this is the decision I'm taking with my kid, and you know, would they would the people in charge of education talk you out of it and try to convince you um to reconsider your decision? Or how does this work?
Mm. Great question. The thing is, if you want to start the journey, first things first is you need to contact your local council, and all it takes is
Okay.
just go to Google homeschooling. If I'm, for example, I'm in Manchester, homeschooling in
Mm-hmm.
Manchester, and that would
Mm.
somehow lead you to the council website, and you would see homeschooling Manchester, and then every form of information for homeschoolers in the Manchester area would have an email address that would be displayed on the council website for your area that you're
Mm.
in. Email them to say,
Mm.
I'm thinking of homeschooling my. You name the child, you put the date of birth in the email, you put their address, and you put your phone number just in case they don't understand your email. That way they can contact you and call you to say, we don't understand your email. What do you mean this or whatever? But always make sure you put your
Mm.
email, your phone number in the email. So
Mm.
that's what I did. I put the name of my child, their legal name. Let's not put the, like my child is Oluwati Milenyi. I didn't go and write my name. My child is Timmy.
Mm.
So full
Mm.
legal name, date of birth, address that you're planning to homeschool your children in. And I say
Mm.
address that you're planning to register. Beg your pardon. Address that you're planning to homeschool your children in is very important because you don't need social services on your neck. For example, we have a home in Northampton, which is a farmhouse.
Mm.
And the reason why we got this farmhouse is I always wanted a situation where my children can run outside, play in the woods, whatever the case, and that would allow me to rest. Rather than I'm in a populated area where when they're outside in the garden, I'm worried that the neighbor is looking at them or I'm worried that they will get hit by a car. So the reason why I
Mm.
mentioned this is when you do tell the council that you're homeschooling your children, they will come and visit. So this is the
Okay.
importance of the address where you are planning to homeschool your children. Obviously, if they come
Mm.
to your house and it's only a one-bedroom flat and you have 6 or 7 children in a one-bedroom flat, that begins to raise concerns for them that you're not providing a good enough space to homeschool
Mm.
those children. You see what I mean?
Mm.
So
Mm.
these are things I put into consideration even before I started homeschooling. So I didn't need the council to tell me, well, what are the sleeping conditions of your children? If there's 7 of
Mm.
you, how do you all fit into one room? You don't want to be asking those kind of questions in
Mm.
front of them. I think you as a parent, you need to think about the living conditions you're in first before you tell the council you want to homeschool and then you're in an overcrowded space because the children need space
Mm.
to write, they need
Mm.
space to think,
Mm.
and if
Mm.
everybody's sharing one dining table and there's 5 children on one dining table, fights would happen and the child is constantly getting distracted. So,
Mm.
name, date of birth, address you're planning to homeschool your children, and your phone number, email it to them, and of course, if the child is currently in education at the moment, you obviously give the school that you're in at the moment. You give them notice to
Mm.
say that you're going to be withdrawing your child. I think
Mm.
typically it's terms notice, which is 3 months. You need to give them notice to say you're leaving, and then obviously they would ask you, "Oh, what school are you going to?" If you tell them you're
Mm.
homeschooling, they would need to record it on their site that you are no longer taking them to school. But that's nothing for you to
Mm.
worry about. You just need to tell them, "Oh, I'm taking them to this school because I don't like your school anymore," or whatever
Mm.
reason you're leaving, or you're homeschooling, and they'll just record it. Of course, they would ask you why you decided to homeschool. You can decide to be honest,
Mm.
or you can just tell them I feel it's a better option. And it's literally that simple. Send an email to the council, give the school you're currently in notice, and of course, spend 3 months in the current school that you're in. After 3 months, you start homeschooling, and it's as simple as that. And at some point, once for me, because when they came to our house, they saw
Mm.
that the level of education I was giving the child was even better than mainstream. That's what the lady said. It's not because I said so. She gave me the feedback that, you know what, we would actually take some of your resources and suggest it to other parents. So on that note, she said that because it's not It's not the education you're giving them is not of risk. I would only visit you once every year. So once a year they come and then they'll say, okay, can we see the books that you're using to teach the children? In typical situations like this, they're looking out for terrorism, they're looking out for brainwashing, because in some religions, brainwashing does happen. And you need to make and they need to make sure that you're not teaching your children ethics that are against British culture in specific. So there's something called British culture and the British ethos and the way of living in Britain. If they see that some things you're teaching your children do not go in accordance to the way things are done in Britain and upholding the Queen's code of conduct, your family will be flagged as a high risk family, and they will probably enforce that those children go back to mainstream because they don't think you're doing a great job, or they would enforce that that child goes into care, which you don't want. But yeah.
So when they do those visits, do they speak to the children? Do they test
Of
them
course.
in their academics, or how do you know that you're giving them a good quality of education, or they just check the books you have in the library or the materials you're using? How do they test
They,
the kids?
they check the books by default, they check the books. Apart from that, they would ideally want to see the children. And when they want to see the children, they want to make sure the child is kept. So can I please add that please make sure your child is well presented when the child comes. I don't mean in lovely pink dresses with nice bow and tie. Then they will know you're
Mm,
putting up a show. No, well, not like the church attire that we wear to church. No, just
mm,
generally the child is looking kempt, and of course they want to make sure that abuse isn't taking place. So they'll be looking for body marks, especially for African parents that smack. You don't want to
mm,
be presenting your child, and the child has body marks, and they are beginning to think you are molesting the child or you're abusing the child. So these are the things they'll
mm,
be looking out for whilst having conversation with the child, but you would not know that that's what they're looking out for. They want
mm,
to see, is the child slow to speech? Does the child look scared when they are being questioned? Because they want to see that the child is confident. You know, if they see
mm,
that when they are questioning the child is fidgeting and the child is afraid to speak in front of mommy or daddy, that's already a sign of concern. That why is the child feeling fidgety? Why is the child looking away and doesn't want mommy in the room or doesn't want daddy in the
mm,
room? So these are the kind of things that
mm,
you would think is normal because you're so used to your
mm,
child behaving like that around you, but not knowing that that is red flags for the person talking to your child. So yes, they'll have a conversation with the child. They'll look at the books as well, but not too intricate questions. Just generally of, oh, how are you doing? Oh, can you read this page for me? Oh, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite meal? Just general questions, but you don't know that they are deciding your life whilst having that conversation
mm,
with you.
mm. All right. Thank you very, very much. Let's get to Yeti's kitchen. By the time we return, we will continue in this discussion. I've got some other questions that I need to ask our guest tonight. Engineer, Bangbe, okay.
Yettis Kitchen, ilé oúnjẹ àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tó kalẹ̀ sílùú Manchester. Chilled out Afro and English fusion bar with great food, music and movies. Kò sí oúnjẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ tẹ́ ò bá lọ́dọ̀ wọn. Serving the best fusion of African and English delicacies bíi jollof rice, ẹ̀wà àgọ̀yìn, ẹ̀fọ́ rò, jerk chicken, suya, ayamashi, goat pepper soup, bọ́gà lóríṣiríṣi àti àwọn ọtí ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe fẹ́ sí ni. Eating, takeaway or delivery gbogbo ẹ̀ ló bá wọn lára mu. Oríṣiríṣi ètò ìgbádùn ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wọn bíi movie night, live jazz music, game night àti local play area for children to relax while you eat. Their opening times are Monday to Sunday, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Address wọn 299 Liverpool Road, Eccles, Manchester, M300QM. Telephone 0161 706 0062 tàbí 074 603 53448. A tún lè kàn sí wọn lórí email wọn ní food@yettiskitchen.com. For more information, visit their website www.yettiskitchen.com. Yetti's Kitchen, the best Afro-British restaurant in Manchester.
Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with me on the show. Um, Thank you to my host. It's a bit quiet on the platforms. I hope um, you people are enjoying what is going on. Sorrow. Sorrow. Anyway, if you are enjoying what is going on, ẹ bá mi dá love bolẹ̀ fún guest mi lálẹ́ yìí. Let me see you show love to my guest tonight. Ẹ bá mi smash gbogbo love button yẹn. Oya 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 oya. Akọ́ṣẹ́ ni ọkùnrin tó ń sun rárá fọkùnrin ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀, kì í ṣe iṣẹ́ tó easy. Right, let's get back into the discussion. Mbolabade. Right. So, what is the structure like? Is it similar to what you have in the mainstream school where they resume in the morning? Yeah, is in your house, but do they resume from their room to a dedicated area as their classroom? And how long do you run the class for? Do they have breaks? Is it structured like what you have in the mainstream school, or yours is just flexible? And also, do you run the same syllabus like they do in the mainstream, or you've patterned their learning to suit their specific interest? Over to you.
Yes to all your questions.
Yes to all of them.
No, yes, it's flexible, it's rigid.
Okay.
Yes, it's aligned to their passions and dreams. Yeah, yes to
Okay.
everything. So a
Okay.
typical day is they wake up to read their Bible because I'm a Christian. That's what we do. But that doesn't have to be the case for people who are not religious. So they wake up to read their Bible. After they read their Bible, they pray, and after praying, and everybody's doing this on their desk. So everybody has a desk in the house where they go to. They call it their office.
Okay.
So they know that, okay, if I say go to your office, they know where to go. It's not a conversation of where's my office. So they wake up in the morning, read their Bible on their office space. And when I say office space, it's just a desk from IKEA. So it's nothing special, but it's their own thing, and they take pride. They take pride in it. In terms of they keep it tidy. Any awards they have, they display it on there
They
from
put it
football,
there.
whatever. They put it there. They've got their own caricature pictures. So they make it, if they want to draw on the wall of their office, because that's what makes them happy. It's your office, you do what you want there. I'm not gonna make it as squeaky clean, as parents we have a certain idea of what beauty is. So that part of the house is not my business. I don't. If marker pens is what makes you happy today, go ahead. Versus, I want it to look good for the gram, so we have to keep the walls white. Then that's not how it works for homeschooling. So they got their office, so they read the Bible, they pray, they go to grab their breakfast, brush their teeth, whatever it is to keep your hygiene up. After that, they go to their desk, they set their goals for the day. That's how it works. They set their goals for the day to say, okay, I'm going to complete 2 pages of math, 2 pages of English. After that, I want to do my art homework. After that, I want to make sure I finish my painting from yesterday. You just write the goals for the day, so that at least that gives them the mindset of what they want to achieve for the day. You just don't wake up with no plan for your life. I'm now shaking some tables right now, because even some people, they never set goals for their life. How much more set goals for the day?
Got that some comedy.
So yeah, they set the goals for the day by writing it down. It's not just in your head. Once they write it down, they then begin to attack those goals by doing it. Right about 12:01, we take a break, fruit break. It's called a fruit break. So they go grab a fruit of choice from the fridge. They have conversation. They talk. We laugh, we play. It might end up being a football match outside the house, whatever the case. They then come back around about 1 and we carry on. But usually at 1, everybody's all distracted. So from 1 to 3, 4, we're still educating, but it's more free flow in terms of we might end up on Netflix because I want to teach them about Nigerian history and our journey
Mm.
to independence. There's lots of great
Mm.
resources on Netflix on that. Or we might actually end up on Akin Vog's Yoruba channel. Hey, hey, put the plug in.
Mm.
We might end up on your YouTube channel where you teach us Yoruba. And my
Mm.
children are learning Yoruba
Mm.
from you. So if it's not YouTube, we have Udemy as well, where they learn Yoruba and they learn a lot of stuff away from Black history. The British culture has
Mm.
pushed Black history, but who is pushing Nigerian history? Who's pushing Africa's history?
Mm.
$1 million question. So
Mm.
1 to 4 is learning, but not in a classroom structure. We could be out planting and planting as well. Planting crops is part of learning. So after 4 is
Mm.
now creative time where my son is learning how to build mobile apps. He's building websites. He's learning how to build a game console because he wants to start selling games. Um,
Mm.
Apart from that, he has a eBay shop that he sells. He does drop shipping. So he sells stuff from Amazon, toys. Because I don't need to tell him what to sell.
Uh,
He knows what toys
how,
for.
how is this person we're talking about?
He's 12 years old and the other one is 9 years old. They have an eBay shop and they have a PayPal account and they get paid. They don't disturb me for pocket money.
12-year old, 12-year old like adult.
So yeah, after 4, they have free will. They check their emails to say, okay, oh, have I sold any items on eBay today? If they've not sold any items, they'll be like, today I saw an advert on BBC or whatever that was talking about the latest, I don't know, Xbox. And when Xbox came out and PlayStation came out, everybody wanted the console. So they went to shop around to see which website had the cheapest option. They put it on their eBay shop. So yes, between 4 and 6, it's all about exploring. So after he's done his eBay shop, because my 12-year-old is planning to be a racing driver, so he's into motorsport.
Mm.
What he fondly does is he might begin to plan on how he would go for his next race. And what I found with mainstream education wouldn't allow him work on his passion from a very young age, right?
Mm.
So what I realized is from Monday to Thursday, we're working on typical school curriculum, history, maths, whatever. But then
Mm.
Fridays are left for motorsports, where he goes all day to a motoring academy where everybody, and now it comes to that conversation you had about Amolowo. So you
Mm.
go there and because we don't have a fancy car, we have to park our car 2 streets away.
Mm.
Because if you go there, Aston Martin Lotto Rere, Porsche Lotto Rere, so you get
Mm.
there, you're talking about the CEO of McLaren is with you there. You have to come correct. So he goes there to learn how to drive on a simulator, which means he can simulate 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, whatever speed he wants. And he'd have a coach there, as well as he would have his peers that are there to learn how to drive a racing car. That's what he wanted
Mm.
to do from the age of 4. We didn't teach him that. And from the age of 4, he's been doing that, and now he's 12. So he's got a license to drive automatic cars, even at the age of 12. So right now, if he was allowed by law, he'll be able to drive on our roads, but he can only drive a racing car. He can't drive a normal car that adults drive. So that's the 12-year-old. And then for the 9-year-old, he's into football. So from 4 o'clock, he's on his football classes or whatever he does to keep himself happy. And like I said, a bit of technology, a bit of trading. My 12-year-old also does some trading as well. He trades stocks and shares. Um, so yeah, literally, I can talk all for a whole day on what they do after 4.
Mm.
But after 4, the world is theirs in terms of we teach them buying and selling. We teach them the importance of money. Teach them the importance of mortgages, what it means, how to run a business. For obviously, I have Yetti's Kitchen. He joins me in Yetti's Kitchen to see how I'm interacting with customers, how I'm solving issues. On Mondays, my 12-year-old goes to the mechanic because obviously, if he's into motorsport, just in case he doesn't make it as a racing driver, because I'm a very honest mother. Not be everybody will make in life as by waiting they
Mm.
aspire.
Mm.
So just in case he doesn't get there, because motorsport is a very competitive sport, and
Mm.
So of course, Lewis Hamilton is at the top of the league right now, but I can only have a fraction of an idea of what he had to give up to get to where he is. Even his father, when we listen to the father's interviews, the father had to sell their house to fund the guy's racing career. Me, I don't know if I'm ready to sell my house for a career that might never happen. So by all means, I am prayerful. I trust God that God will make it happen for him. But when he just in case, ó lè ṣe mechanic, ó lè ṣe engineer, you know, like you always say, engineer goes okay. So every Monday we go to the mechanic to learn how to fix cars. We have a contract with the person he goes to meet, and that person teaches him how to fix cars. And when he finishes fixing the cars, he now sells it on Auto Trader. So whenever somebody wants to come and buy the car from Auto Trader, it's him they converse with to say, "Oh, sir, when's the car ready?" And he will be answering in his baby voice, obviously, he's still a 12-year-old. He'll be answering to say, "Okay, I just need to clean the car. It will be ready at 5 p.m. Come and have a look." So his dad is standing there while he is negotiating with the person who wants to buy the car. No, let's sell it at 1,002. Let's sell it at 1,300. He's negotiating with the person. He gives the person the keys. He then fills in the logbook to say, okay, change of owners. All that stuff is what's happening in our lives after 4 p.m. Let me not bore you. But yeah.
Wow. People are like, some people are blaming their own destiny in the comment section that báwo láyé àwọn ṣe wá rí báyìí, and some are worried. Like there's a question that was the eBay and PayPal open in their name, because they're asking
in my name.
with respect to age restrictions. Okay, so the accounts are opened
in my name,
okay.
But Oscar,
but
they have an Oscar card.
They run it. Okay.
Yeah, but they have an Oscar card, which is OSPER. They have an Oscar card, and from the age of 8. OSPER.
What card is that? OF?
OS for sugar. OSP for Papa. ER. Oscar.
Okay.
So they have an Oscar card from the age of 8.
Check me out.
Yeah, Oscar, from the age of 8, your child can have a bank card, and it's a MasterCard. So from the age of 8, they can buy online, they can sell online, they can do anything. It's just a normal card, but from the age of 8. So most parents wait till the age of 16 to give their child a normal bank card. But you don't need to wait from that. From the age of 8, a child can have a card for themselves. And that way, whatever money he's making from eBay or PayPal that enters my account, I can transfer it to his account. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, listening to this tonight is it pails some of some of other parents' effort. It pails it into, like, you're not doing nothing, to be honest, because even myself inclusive, because it's a lot of effort to get this done. And like I said, this is what I found in the lives of the rich people. When I say rich people, I mean people who have empires, conglomerate of businesses, and this is what the family run from generation to generation. And you can see from young, they're already building their children to take over from them. So they homeschool them. They are specific in the kind of learning they expose them to. They from young, they before they are 10, they know how to read balance sheet. They know how to chair a board meeting. They know about investment. They can speak more than one language, because obviously when it comes to business negotiation and things like that, it is an advantage to be able to speak another language. And they've been exposed, because when their fathers go on, business trips, they take them around, they take them along, they're exposed to negotiations, even if they don't talk, just being in that environment and listening to what is happening, they're already living that life. They're already being formed, being groomed into what they want to become. They're already used to the life of affluence. They fly in private jets. they lodge in 5-star hotels. They know how to talk, how to eat in public. They understand etiquette and social graces. So wọn kàn ń ṣe gànràngànràn kiri ayé. And this is why the gap between the rich and the poor cannot be bridged. Kì í ṣèpè. Because we're not changing anything on our own side. Báwọn bàbá wa ṣe gbélé ayé làwa náà gbé. Bá a ṣe gbélé ayé náà la tún pass on to the children to live. So listening to you tonight, it's an awakening to everybody. Myself, I'm not exempting myself. That there's a lot we can do. Wọ́n máa ń ní ìran mẹ́fà kì í tòṣì. I usually say it, ìran 16 lè tòṣì. If somebody within that lineage don't get up and say, you know what, I want to put an end to this. What you've done to your kids, even at their age 9 and 12. Àwọn èèyàn ń ṣe children mọ́ o, adults ni wọ́n. Because they're really, 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 they're really, really loaded, even at that young age. And I hope they make use of this opportunity you've given to them and end up becoming a huge success in future. You can play your part. We know that life also has its part to play. And also the kids as them, or the children, also have to be responsible and not, just waste this effort of their parents. Thank you very much so far. Also, I would like to ask, are there funding or grants available for people who have, chosen this option of learning? Do the government, support in any way? Because I know if you have to hire private tutors, is quite expensive. And even if you have to do it yourself, you're giving up your own life. Because I don't see how you can be a full-time employee and still be able to run this kind of homeschooling system. It can't work because both demand your full attention, and also the materials you have to buy and things like that. This must cost a lot. So is there support from anywhere that people can apply to augment their finances?
Unfortunately, no. The government would rather have you bring your children to mainstream education. So no, there's no funding for homeschooling. It just makes them more money if the child is in regular education, or it makes them more money if your child is a special needs child, and that's why you find the number of children, especially Black children, being diagnosed with special needs is going higher, because unfortunately the system makes money from every child that's diagnosed with special needs, even when the child really and truly just probably has a personality disorder and the child just needs attention. But no, they say everything is special needs, and then they need to go to special education, and that way they make more money. So yeah, it makes more money for students or children to be classed as special needs. So no, they don't want you to homeschool your children.
You know why I'm laughing? Because you mentioned that the statistics or the numbers of kids with special needs is rising. I have a friend who one time said to me, you know what, ọmọ kan wá, ọmọ yẹn dẹ̀ ń ṣe rọ̀bọ̀bọ̀, ìyá ẹ̀ sọ pé ó wà autistic. Èmi wo ọmọ tẹ́mi rí yẹn, ọmọ yẹn kan stubborn ni o, kò sí ọ̀kan tó ṣe o. Ọmọ ilé kan stubborn ni o, kò sí ọ̀kan. Mo pẹ́ ọmọ tí n bá fún láti ẹyọ kan báyìí, orí ẹ̀ máa reset wọn. So just like you said, every little thing they put label on. They're quick to put labels on these children. And it's sort of, I think, hiding or hiding away from or not allowing parents to take responsibility. Ọmọ tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ báwí àbọ̀ ọmọ tó yẹ kó kàn nídìí maybe firm hand, ẹ ti máa sọ pé wà autistic ẹ máa filẹ̀ kó kàn máa ṣe rànràn kiri. You know, so there's a lot that don't sit well with me as well in mainstream education. But like I said earlier, I have to be honest. There's no way I can handle this with my status. Then I can't afford private tutor. Secondly, I don't have the grace to even tutor myself. Thirdly, I don't have that time to give up because àwọn kan tó ń lé mi wọn lè jẹ́ ń dúró, you know. So the provoking ò ṣe work fẹ́mi nìyẹn, and I have to use
I totally, if you don't mind, I'll comment.
what is
I'll comment
available.
there.
Yeah.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
I'll comment there. The thing is, same way you're saying everything you're saying now. That was the boat I was on until life caught me unawares. And are you going to be I'm not talking about you specifically, but I'm just saying generally these are the questions, which is, yes, this child needs my attention, or yes, this child needs extra attention at school. Am I going to be the parent that throws money at the problem, or am I going to hit the nail on the head and start from the root? Because my child was 4. And between the ages of 4 and 7, the child's brain is like a sponge. Anything you want to teach that child, apparently, it's actually between the age of 4 and 7 that a child's destiny is designed to either be a poor person or a rich person. It's not, you can try after the age of 7, but it's futile. So all these prayer points, sorry to come for the Christians. But my prayer points is that I'm praying, Oluwa, by force, I will be rich, man, but alas, man, you will not collect any alas. It's not possible. Rich or poor is decided between the age of 4 and 7. Whatever is imbibed or put into that child through repetition, I must repeat repetition, even if it's special needs, even if it's a perfectly normal situation you're in. Repetition is what helps you remember stuff, even as an adult. Get into a routine and you find that you get better at whatever you want to get better at. So between the age of 4 and 7, a child's brain is like a sponge. And it's that 4 and 7 that rich or poor. The child can hustle. After that age, all was designed from the age of 4 and 7. And for me, when I looked at the stats of people that became rich in life, what happened to them between the age of 4 and 7, and people that were poor, regardless of them working hard, regardless of them praying to God, they still ended up poor. It all happened between 4 and 7. What happened to that child between 4 and 7? And by the time I saw at the age of 4 that my own child couldn't do alphabet, or whatever was pursuing me, I had to stop it, or else I'll be eternally. And remember, as a mother, my role is different from that of a father. When I get to heaven, God will ask me, Benny, forget Scrum Master, forget business analysis, forget that you had a mortgage, forget you had Yetti Kitchen. Who were you to your children and who were you to your husband? Those are my primary roles. Then mortgage, family, all those things are secondary. If I didn't make money in life, but I was a successful mother and I was a successful wife, I went to heaven, according to my Bible. But if I fail on those 2 roles and I'm a successful conglomerate CEO, bros, the way God will spit on my face if I get to heaven, you will not even recognize that I was a wonderful CEO that did lovely charity. I saved so many children across the world, but my own children at home, I didn't save them. No, my dear. So yes, as a father, I don't expect you to have the grace. Yes, you should love your children, but your calling is different as a father. So as a father, yes, provider, beg your pardon, I'm only talking about traditional roles. I know all these people that are new roles now. There's no role defined as, what a father should do, what a mother should do. I'm saying in my family, this is what works for me. So as a mother, my role is to make sure that my children come out correct. As a father, my husband has a different role. So yes, by all means, he's the math head. I'm the English head. He supports the children in math because he loves math. I support them in English because that's my favorite subject. And we work well that way. But you don't have the grace, that's perfectly fine. But I bless God that I am in a 2-parent household. Obviously, if you're in a single parent household, that will be a different case for you because it's going to be a lot harder to make a decision about homeschooling.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much. So since they're not in, mainstream school, they're not registered anywhere, how do you arrange national exams for them? Like, GCSE, SAT, or whatever exams they need to take? How did they get to sit for these exams?
All you need to do is contact the school.
Which school?
When any school of choice,
Any
any school
school.
of choice, any school of choice.
Okay.
So, for
Okay.
example, and remember when I said in order to do homeschooling, mental strength is required. That's the first thing I ever mentioned before finances. Before you even have money to do homeschooling, you need to get your mental strength in check, because the amount of insults you will collect from family members, the amount of insults you will get from normal people crossing the streets to say, "Oh, your children are homeschooled. Oh, how did they cope with talking to other children?" That's the that's the first question they ask. Oh, how did they cope with mixing with other children? Oh, well, I've heard that homeschooling children are always very lonely. There's always a lot
Someone
of
has already
stigma.
said it here that it's a really hard work. You must have the passion for it, to be able to
Yeah.
do this, Yeah.
So it comes with a
Yeah.
lot of mental strength. And the reason why I said mental strength in answer is because you might be thinking, I asked her, how do you register for exam? It will need mental strength as the answer. No, my dear. A lot of schools would frown on you because you are homeschooling your children. So you don't
Is
want to
that
be
not
that
is
parent.
that not a form of discrimination?
It is now, but they write lovely English. Remember, I told you about lovely English. What my call be? Oh, unfortunately, we don't have the resources right now to cater for homeschooling children sitting the SAT, homeschooling children sitting the GCSEs. In other words, you are black. No. In other words, you are homeschooling your children. No. Tough. They want to make it harder for you. So,
So
yes,
you keep
mental
going from
strength
school to school to school to
first.
school to school to school
Exactly.
until
But
you
as
get
I
one
said,
that finally agrees.
if they are of the right age, your chances of getting a yes is higher versus the people that I spoke to who at the age of 12, their child passed GCSEs and was going to university. They would have had a higher turnover of no versus somebody like my child. Like my child, he's born in September, and because he's born in September, he's always in the year ahead. And I don't know how to do it, but that's another system that I don't like. So everybody in the class is always 11, and him is always 12 years old. He's always 1 year older than everybody in the class because he's born in
Is
September.
yeah.
So
September after resumption. It's the same thing with my own
God bless
son.
you.
You
So
know?
my thing is, at the point, me too, the mental stress was getting to me. The way people were saying, you're suffering your children, no. So they just sit down at home all day and do nothing. So they don't have friends. So it got to me at a certain point. And I was just like, am I running mad? Am I crazy? You know what? I now took my child to a private school in Northampton, and then I took my child to a grammar school in Manchester. And then I had him sit the 11 plus exams, right? So as you can
Okay.
see, he's 12 right now. So if he sat the 11 plus, that was just last year. So he sat the 11 plus. But before he sat the 11 plus, I told him, I looked at him straight in the eye. I said, I am a Nigerian mother. You better not fail this exam. Because if you fail this exam, the people that will laugh at me are more like the people that will tell me, don't worry, try again. Right? So I told him, it's me and you that will die until this exam. You must pass it. And I had to take him to a mainstream education just because he didn't have to do 11 plus because he's not, normally you do 11 plus because you want to enter grammar school or you want to enter secondary. But I didn't need to do that. But at a point, I had to say, okay, am I teaching them well enough? Am I doing this thing good enough? It's one thing for the inspector to come and tell me you're doing well done, calm down. But she might be telling me that because she just wants to be nice. So I took him to grammar school, which is a very high standard exams versus private school where they will just tell you, yes, your child was accepted, but that's because they just want to tick the box to say we have 20% black ethnic minority.
Yeah.
They just want to tick the box. So I took him to a grammar school to say, okay, this one will be taught. Exactly. They have their quotas that they need to meet. So I took him to 2 different variations when he was 11. He did the 11 plus, and to God, I need to do the dance. If this was video, you see me doing the dance. And to God be the glory. He passed the 11 plus exam. So at that point, I felt validated that he's doing well in homeschooling and he's also doing well with mainstream schooling. And both schools, the private school and the grammar school, accepted him that he should come and join them. And of course, I responded to say, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the results, but no thank you. We'll carry on with homeschooling. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I was coming to ask you about some of the challenges in homeschooling. but you since you started it already, you might as well just take it up from there. Aside, this frustration you get, the most important one that I know often get talked about is children who are homeschooled might become antisocial, and cannot fit into the mainstream lifestyle, um, because they're not used to what is going on the outside. What are the other challenges that you think is associated with homeschooling? Because to be honest, it can't just be all rosy and all smooth.
So there are quite a few challenges. Like I said, mental strength, number one. The child also has to be mentally strong because your
Mm,
child is constantly looking at everybody playing outside in terms of everybody at 3 o'clock is passing through the window. Everybody's got their friends. Everybody's eating chicken and chips while walking down the road. Everybody has their clique, but he doesn't have a clique. Um,
mm,
so the child needs to be in a place where they don't feel inferior because they're not doing what everybody else is doing.
mm,
So that's number one. And also, you as a parent, you don't feel bad when you actually go past children in the morning and you have a different destination, but then they are going to school, they are wearing shirt and tie, but your own child is wearing jeans and following you to Tesco to go and shop. So the amount of times that the amount of times that I send my child to the shop, maybe at 11 o'clock in the morning, and whilst he's going there, what are you doing outside? Are you not meant to be in school? Somebody would shout across the road as if he's
mm,
absconding from school.
mm,
And he would obviously have to answer, no, I'm homeschooled. So sometimes it can feel bad to say, hey, yeah, look, he has to respond to say he's homeschooled. So there's that stigma. And some of the other challenges is discrimination. Um,
to be
the,
honest,
the,
I find this really amusing that you're talking about um, that as a challenge, because I think it's a thing of pride that, oh yeah, I'm
no, far
homeschooled
from
and
it, it's a
private
shameful
tutored. It's a
thing.
thing of pride.
No, it's a
No,
shameful thing, my brother. It's a shameful
no, I'm
thing.
I'm hearing this for the first time. Honestly.
No, you don't know now. I remember so many times. I'm a lot. We will go to Nigerian party. We will go to. Oh, what school does your child go?
Ah,
Oxford Brooks. Wait now, my brother. Oxford Brooks. What school does your child go to? Ele. What mama pay? Eaton High School. Which one is your own home school? Which one is the name of that? I've never heard of it before.
yeah,
Kilope
pri-
home school.
private, private tutored. Is that not a
My
thing of pride?
brother, is no. You want to mention that your child is going to a highbrow. I'm not saying me. Obviously, if I'm bothered about these comments, I won't be doing it. But I'm just saying, especially in the African community, the reason why many of us choose the universities we go to, Princeton in America, all these different major leagues, Harvard, all these reasons why we mention all these things is to say, me no more dagbe more, me no more shit, because everybody is
Yeah.
free. But they
Mm,
don't even mind if you mention a name of a school that is not known. Kosha and law school is all that matters. Kosha and
mm.
try. But if we now mention homeschool, they will actually, because they've never heard homeschool before. They'll say, sorry, where is that one? Where is it located? No, my mommy teaches me. But it means sometimes I even tell my son, don't say,
Yeah, maybe they should stop saying my mommy teaches me and just say
but
I
that's
have private
it.
private tutors. Because
I have
that they would
private
now know
tutor.
pé, àwọn eléyìí jẹun kánú o, because kò cheap o. To have private tutors come into your home to teach your kids. No, kò ń ṣe kò cheap. So if I'm spending that much, kí nǹkan tó a máa sọ fún mi wípé ìyá àbó fẹ́ ṣánkú ni, ìyá ń bo, you know. So this is why I said I'm like, that shouldn't be a challenge, you know. I
But
know
one
font.
thing,
Mm,
yes, but one thing is, that's why I'm very intentional with exec software that anywhere that they want to make friends.
mm,
Um, there's a certain kind of friendship circle I want them in, and I am
mm,
intentional about paying to make sure they're in those circles, and then let it
mm,
happen organically. So this is what I
mm,
mean by when I take them horse racing when I take them golfing, when I take them to all these different places where I could never go growing up in Barnet and Hertfordshire. I was surrounded by all the rich students and stuff in highbrow areas, but I couldn't afford to go there. So I remember coming into the UK, everywhere in Barnet, everybody, I used to follow my white friend to her barn where she would take care of her horses. And she'd be telling me, oh, I'm going to mock up the horses. Monique, mock up, mop, I be mock. Which one are you talking? I never knew any of these things, but there were things she did, and I didn't have access to these things. So, yes, I love our African churches because I take them there so that they understand our culture. But I'm also interested in understanding what's happening on the other side. My brother, I can even tell you this. I even once took my children for 3 months to a Chinese school every Sunday. Instead of going to church, no, cancel church. But when we're not Chinese to come and call Mandarin. Right? So Mandarin, by all means, like you said, languages is very important. Mandarin, they can easily learn it online. Duolingo, all these mobile apps can teach you Mandarin and all that. But I wanted them to be inculcated in the culture. There's a difference between going to school with Chinese. They went there for 3 months. Not one single word did they understand, but I wanted them to understand the hardship. I wanted them to understand the hardship. So every day, even me, I would sit down at the back of the class. The teacher was speaking Chinese. The teacher refused, by all means, to speak English to help the boy translate. And we were there for 3 months and we stuck at it. But my point is, it's all about social experiments. It's all about learning the things that we should learn, being in different circles and learning different things. And that way they can form organic friendships. And that way it counters the hardships. So in terms of, okay, there's a stigma to it. At the end of it all, they could come out more experienced than their friends, because when their friends are applying for jobs, and them they've had jobs since the age of 10. So their own CV. So another thing that could happen is at the end of homeschooling, when they apply for uni, the uni can say, we don't accept all this work that your child has been doing for the last 15 years because it's not marked according to the high school curriculum. Is what I mean? Because you're his mother, you're going to give him pass mark when you should have given him a failure, right? So that's another stigma that comes with homeschooling, where you apply to Oxford or you apply to any of these highbrow universities or even normal universities, but because it's homeschool, how do you exactly grade the fact that your child has successfully completed 15 years of education? How do you grade that as a parent? Of course, I have a curriculum that I follow, and I know how to prove that to them when I get to that level, because we have a Google Drive, and every single day my children upload their work onto that Google Drive. But that's because I'm a technical mother, right? So they upload their work every day. So in 15 years' time, when my child is 15 and wants to go to uni, all the teacher needs to do is get a link to that Google Drive, and every single day of his life has been documented. You can see his progress. And that's what I plan to use as proof when we get to that part of the journey. But even if they decide to get to uni and uni refuses, if the uni refuses to say, no, we don't want homeschoolers, my brother, they can still make money. It's not by force to go to university. They can still make money without going to uni. And I've catered to that aspect as well. So in terms of all the hardships, yes, there are hardships, but I've thought of different ways to make sure they can overcome, because those hardships never go away. Yeah.
Great. You mentioned this. Honestly, it shocked me because these were not the challenges I was expecting to get listed. You know, Tonibiti mo fọkàn sí, but àwọn tó tún wá yọ yìí, it choked me. It shocked me. Ó tún wá choke me. You know, but to be honest, like I said, these things you mentioned as challenges are the things that actually didn't encourage me, like, to want to, you know, go to mainstream education. Like I said, I usually tell people, if when I was in school, Google was loaded like this with information, and ìlú tí mo wà náà gbà yẹn ó jẹ́ ìlú torí ẹ̀ correct, tí a lè ní access sí internet, tí iná wà gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe ni, I would not have stepped into the four corners of an institution. I would have learned on my own, because I'm a kind of person that I like specific learning. I want to know about this. I go after that thing. I devote my time and energy and focus and concentration to it and learn that thing. I hate all this generalized generalized learning tí ò dẹ̀ dá nǹkan kan fún wa. When secondary school wọ́n ká máa name grasshopper, antenna, wing, gbogbo nǹkan rọ̀dọ̀rọ̀dọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Chinese wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n kọ́ àwọn wọn ní coding. I posted a picture on my WhatsApp status, a video on my WhatsApp status yesterday. On the assembly ground, wọ́n kọ pátá kan fọ́sẹ̀ kan. Àwọn school mi kan dẹ̀ wà níbì kan. Àwọn school kan wà níbì kan tó ń kọ́ àwọn ọmọ yẹn ní coding. Gbogbo kìíní ó máa make a difference. It will make a difference. Just you mentioned now, look at the exposure you are giving your kids in terms of circle, horse racing, golfing. Ibi táwọn olówó ń concentrate sí nìyẹn. But we don't think about all these things. We don't think that they matter. Ibi táwọn dẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn bẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti ń parí contract. Ibẹ̀ lọ́ ti ń parí gbogbo fixing up all this vacant position and everything like that. Ìwọ́n máa gbé síbi ìsàbíyá kàkàkiri. Wà á máa kanlẹ̀kùn, wà á máa jókòó, wà á máa ṣe yẹsà, wà á máa smile ṣíplíṣì kan. Wọ́n ti gbà wọ́n tó máa gbà ní golf club. Wọ́n ti gbà wọ́n tó máa gbà nígbà tó ń meet ní horse racing. Ìwọ kàn ń pa fáìlì màbíyà òun lóṣòó kiri. This is what happened. This is why some are getting results and others are not. Tonight is a real eye-opening, for me. Mo rò pé mo ń ṣe nǹkan ní tẹ́lẹ̀, but ọmọ mi ì tiẹ̀ débì kankan rárá, mi ì débì kankan rárá, but all the same, I must give credit to you and your husband for your effort so far. Lastly, before I release you, what are the benefits of homeschooling? What are the benefits?
To you as a parent, because of the way we've been brought up, we think we are wasting time in teaching those children. And we hate to put it that way. We like to be kind. I don't call it wasting time, but kinto come or no, kinto wa lo she night shift, kinto lo she late. But my dear, that time you are trying to save by going to work. Of course, people have to work to eat. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to glamorize not going to work. But my thing is, at some point during my homeschooling journey, I've had to go back to work. And I don't mean running the restaurant. At the beginning of the pandemic last year, I had to go and get a job because I was struggling financially and we were struggling financially. So I had to get a job, and that was different from working in the restaurant. So she shared care, and my care job was 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. at night, when obviously homeschooling wasn't taking place, I'll go and do care work, and then I'll come back in the morning, sleep till about 10, 11. And then 11, I'll carry on with my homeschooling with my children till 5, 6. Then I'll go off and do my care job again at night. And obviously I had the restaurant running as well. So
are you saying this can still be combined with working?
My brother, all is possible if you put your mind to it. Stop Nigeria. You people know how to do double shift. So do double shift for your children too. That's all I have to say regarding that one.
Whoa.
But benefits-wise, you can save money because
How? How do you save money?
Money. Like I said, my children trade. My 12-year-old trades in stocks and shares. That's number one. So he's making money whilst he's learning. Meaning that at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., he will look at all the trades he has put in place at the beginning of the day to see which one he has lost money on, which one he has gained money on. That's number one. So it's almost like you can teach your children certain systems that can make them money whilst they are learning. That one my parents did not teach me. Work on the my law school. And then when I now finished my school at the age of 22, finish university, I had to figure out what I wanted to do in life. That lost me time. But right now, my children are gaining time by doing homeschooling. Time waits for nobody. The way the system in mainstream education throughout the world has been designed is till the age of 22, you are not to focus on yourself. You are meant to focus on what you've been told to believe in. But my
Mm.
children from the age of 4 are finding out. It's almost like it's almost like an hourglass. You know how an hourglass moves sand from the top of the dome to the bottom of the dome. We are now engineering our own lives upside down, and if upside down is the new norm, so be it. Meaning that from the age of four,
Is it right for me to let me put your words, like this? Will I be correct if I say mainstream education conditions you into how the society wants you to be, while homeschooling brings out who you are and patterns you into how you want to live your life? Am I correct?
yes, yes, but in the right conditions. Some homeschoolers have come out of
Okay.
homeschooling and totally hated their parents or hated whoever gave them homeschooling.
Okay.
And there's
Okay.
a difference between hate versus dislike to your homeschooling. So the prayer
Mm.
every day as a parent is my children appreciate the sacrifice that we as parents have given them. But if
Mm.
done in the wrong conditions where it's like dictatorship, because a lot of African parents will say, ah, homeschooling, okay, Oda, mama, come on for me. And next thing you are shouting, like this lady mentioned, the lady that mentioned that she'll be, yeah, Ife Olua, she mentioned that she will end up shouting and shouting. If homeschooling
Mm.
is done in the wrong environment, you will not find the individual. The individual will be lost for life because the person was brought up in the
Mm.
wrong environment and taught
Mm.
in a very harsh environment. So the environment in which you homeschool the child has to be one that's very creative. So for me, we are engineering time by homeschooling, meaning that from the age of 4 to 22, our children are playing Ludo
Mm.
in as a metaphor, meaning sometimes one magba double six, sometimes one magba 3-6, sometimes one magba 2-1. They are playing and trying to understand what
Mm.
their strengths are. They are trying to understand what their weaknesses are, but they are doing it in a place where there is no
Mm.
judgment. Hmm. We as parents at the age of 22 when we came out of uni, there was strong judgment. If we go and apply for banking job, banking job ló ṣe o dẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ o dẹ̀ kàwé lawyer. There's so much judgment when we are now trying to find ourselves at the age of 22 when we finish
Mm.
university. And whilst we're making our
Mm.
mistakes, our parents are frowning on us that, oh, I finished sending you to the best private school. I keep sending you to private university. Most send a lossy covenant. Most send a lossy blah, blah, blah. I need my money back. So make sure you choose the right career. So you're choosing careers based on expectations of everybody versus career based on what do you actually want for yourself. And even if at the age of 22, you get to choose a career that you want for yourself, the chances are 22 to 40, you'll be under pressure not to make mistakes because by then you're
Nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ at that time gan.
exactly. So
Many
imagine.
of us will say balance. Balance. Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. You're in a place where, oh, God forbid you go. I'm not even gonna say God forbid. Everyone no form alone you. I can't even say God forbid. That's not instant. But between the age of 22 that you have finished university, you're having one girl that said, after you finish dating me for 3 years in university, you are not telling me you want to break up. She's threatening you that you must marry her. In the middle of that, someone
Mm.
is telling you should go to Canada because Canada is the way forward and you should go and make millions of dollars and send it back home. You must build house. You must so many pressures. And my point is you're going to be making decisions based on life pressures at the age of 23 when you leave uni versus
Mm.
my own children where if they are making mistakes between the age of 4 to 22 where where their friends are coming out of uni, between the 4 to 22, nobody's judging them. If you lost 100 grand in crypto because you
Mm.
thought it was a good idea at the age of 13, because like I said, he does trading and stocking now. If he loses that
Mm.
kind of money, to God be the glory. Nobody is judging him that he'll be a failure in life because he lost that
Mm.
kind of money. Nobody is judging him that he's
Mm.
not driving a Range Rover. He's not feeling peer pressure
Mm.
when he's making his decisions. So my point is we're engineering time by allowing them be human. They're allowed to feel things. As adults, there are many things that we go through. We go through a death of a parent. We go through death of I don't know. And at the age of 22, because you're feeling all that pressure, so many people commit suicide because they're under pressure to be what society wants them to be. You're not allowed to
Mm.
grieve because you need to go back to your 9 to 5 the next day. If you don't go back to your 9 to 5 the
Mm.
next day, you're going to get fired. No, enjoy the moment. If you are grieving, grieve for as long as you want because you lost 10K. Like was it not the other day I was saying to my husband 2 weeks ago that I've noticed that Toby has not traded for the last 2 weeks. So most of us were having a conversation and laughing at him. I said, why? Only pay, okay, 200, trading account, what they big bonus within 24 hours. So last 2 weeks, we trade more. We were laughing about it. Trust me, if it was a 30-year-old that lost money, we would not be laughing about it. So we're engineering time by allowing them to be human. If they're going through a downtime, they can do it as long as they want because that's what humans should do. We're meant to be full of emotions rather than there's a pressure to say, oh, you're going through this downtime, but you've only got 1 week because parental leave or maternity leave is only for 2 weeks. After that, you need to come back to work. So you're consuming and you're just compartmentalizing. That's a big word. Compartmentalizing your emotions because you have responsibilities as an adult. So 4 to 22, we hope to get them the best foot in life, which is they make mistakes, they get it right, they understand what their strengths are, and they capitalize on it. So when their mates are coming out at the age of 22 from uni with a clear CV and all their mates can say is, I went to this university, I went to this secondary school, this is my what do they do at the end of university again? My project,
dissertation, yeah.
This is my dissertation. That's all you have to show for going through. I collected a first class. That's all you can show. And you're hoping that somebody would employ you. No. My children at the age of 22 will be able to show you their work, which is, okay, I got grade A, grade B, whatever, from uni and secondary school. But not only that, this is how much money I've been able to make. From £1, I was able to make £1,000 by selling this and that. So you can be able to show a well-balanced adult at the age of 22. And he did it all from home. I think that is my case study, and so help me God.
Thank you very much. Alẹ́ gan, ó bá olóòtú ètò gan, it's been a blessing and a pleasure to have you on the show tonight, and you've spoken honestly, and you've spoken from a place of experience, not some people tó máa fún wa ń lámbà níbi tí ẹ pé wọ́n kàn lọ ka gbogbo ẹ̀ ni, this is actually a first-hand account, and you've been able to tell us as much as we can cover on the show tonight. Like I always tell you, me ò be 1 hour ṣe máa ń fly. Tí 1.5 hours ṣe máa ń fly. You can see now we've already even gone beyond 1 hour 30 minutes. But I'm sure everyone enjoyed the show tonight. How do I know? Tó bá ti quiet lórí comment section bẹ́ẹ̀ mo mọ̀ wípé àwọn èèyàn mi wọ́n learn nìyẹn, wọ́n pay attention nìyẹn, So and I know people will go away from here tonight with one lesson or the other, either to pass on to some other people who have not yet set up a family, or people who are struggling. They must have learned something tonight that they can always use to, advise somebody here and there to help them get over whatever difficulties they have. Is it okay if I say people should contact you behind the scene if they have anything regarding what we've discussed tonight? Are you permitting me to make that declaration?
Actually, now that you've asked the question, I have a homeschooling course. You know me now, yes, you know the Karela.
Hey, you've done that one again.
I need to make money while teaching these children, or else the bank account.
So where can they get this?
Homeschooling course is on Udemy, which is udemy.com. Udemy.com, and just search homeschooling for beginners, and of course you find my name there. If you see homeschooling for beginners that doesn't have Yetti on it, then you know it's not me. Homeschooling for Beginners, there's a full 2-hour course there that tells you step by step what to do. And of course,
Let
if you
me.
want to ask questions, you directly ask me a question in the course, and I'll be able to answer you directly. And it's
So
one-on-one
I want
time.
I want I want to
Yeah,
put that up. Udemy.com.
Udemy. 1 minute.
Yeah, and then they should search for what?
Homeschooling for Beginners. I'll send you the
Search homeschooling for
for
beginners.
beginners. Yes,
And then it will have Yeti, right?
yes, it will have my name Yetti on there. Same picture that you're
So
seeing on this screen now is the same picture that will be there for me.
okay. So if anyone has, you need support or materials for homeschooling, so just go to www.udemy.com and then search homeschooling for beginners, and from your search result, some stuff that will come up will be relating to Yeti, and you will see this lovely picture of her in um 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 this what's this style called now? uh kí lorúkọ style yẹn o. Oh my goodness, ó dẹ̀ ti sápá mi lórí ṣá. Mo dẹ̀ máa rántí. But anyway, you will see this same picture she has on this show pop up with the alongside the materials that she has, and then you have all what you want. 2 hours material. Did you say?
Yes, 2 hours. It's displayed now.
All
That's the
right.
course.
So you can see it's we've put that up on the screen for you. This is what you will see when you search for udemy.com, and this is what you find. And all you need to do is just to click on Add to Cart, you buy, and everything is downloaded to your device, and you can use for as long as you want.
Forever. It's a lifetime. Yeah, lifetime.
Lifetime use, so you don't have to pay any subscription or anything. You have it, and you have it for life. Is this where you asked me to put the Yoruba
Yoruba course.
learning thing I did?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes.
I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, we will discuss this after the show. I couldn't, to be honest, I couldn't just get away around it, so I just left it. But I'll get by in touch with you, and you put me through.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming up on the show tonight. I will leave you now to go while I round up with my people. I'm not sure anyone has any question in the comment section. Before I release you, I'm going through the comment section to see if there's any question people have asked you. No, there's no question. Okay, no question. So that's cool. I can release you now to go. It's getting into midnight, and I know you have a busy day tomorrow with the restaurant
Thank you
and all
very much.
that. Thank you very much once again for coming up on the show. I would be reaching out to you again because I know you have more other stuff that I can squeeze out of you. Kí n má dẹ̀ bara mi jẹ́ kó má yẹ pé mo máa blow chance me for another time. Let me
I
allow you to
appreciate
go
you.
now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Take
All
care.
right then. God bless. Yes, my people. Thank you everyone for staying on the show up till this moment. I hope you enjoyed tonight's discussion. After taba parí èmi gan lọ jókòó síbi kan màá reconsider àwọn nǹkan kan, but to be honest, this is what we do on this show. we challenge ourselves to be better people. And we don't come here to, lie to ourselves or anything like that. We try to stay real, you know. All we want is that let's do better. Ká má gbé ayé bí àwọn aṣáájú wa ṣe gbé ayé. Let's look at the mistakes they made and try to correct them. Let's take it a step further. Let's build a new foundation for our own generation. Káwọn náà má sọ ìtàn kan náà. And tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ discussion tá a mú wá is relating to our own lives, let's have critical, check on our own lives as well and see areas where we are lacking and where we can do things better. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Before I go, we have been considering this. There are two things I need to bring to your notice. Number one, we have been looking at the timing, and where we've been discussing, should we bring the time forward to say 9 o'clock? So we'll do 9 to maybe 9 to 11 or 9 to half 10, rather than starting 10 and running into midnight. But ẹ̀yin là ń ṣe show fún, so it's not a decision I'll just make and then just come and dump on you guys. Let me know if you want us to continue with this time, or you would want us to push the time back an hour, so we start, say, from 9 o'clock. That's one. Then secondly, we have the phone-in option. But unfortunately, apart from my sister that's, called in a few times, apart from my sister Bisi that's called in a few times, we haven't been using the phone-in option as we should. And it's not free. We're paying money. Yetti's Kitchen is paying money for that service. So I'm putting it to you. If we would not be using this phone-in option, can I ask her to disconnect it so that we can save cost in that regard? But if you promise when we open the lines, people will call in and make contribution, I can ask her to keep it on. But if we won't use it, then there's no point paying money for that service, and then it's of no benefit to us. So these are two issues I want us to quickly round up tonight before I leave, so that I can take the decision back to her, and then you see the new change. While we are putting our feedback on the comment section, I'll quickly go to Yetti's Kitchen for the last time. And by the time I come back, whatever you've put on the comment section is what I will take on board as what you want us to do. And if we don't have like a general decision, and we would have a meeting, and then I'll come back to you with whatever we decide. Engineer, man, that's okay.
Yetti's Kitchen, Manchester. Chilled out Afro and English fusion bar with great
movies. Kò sí oúnjẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ tẹ́ ò bá lọ́dọ̀ wọn. Serving the best fusion of African and English delicacies bíi jollof rice, ẹ̀wà àgànyìn, ẹ̀fọ́ rírò, jerk chicken, suya, ayamashi, goat pepper soup, bọ́gà lóríṣiríṣi àti àwọn ọtí ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe fẹ́ sí ni, eating, takeaway or delivery, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló bá wọn lára mu. Oríṣiríṣi ètò ìgbádùn ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wọn, bíi movie night, live jazz music, game night, at the Lego play area for children to relax while you eat. Their opening times are Monday to Sunday, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Address money, 299 Liverpool Road, Essex, Manchester, M300QN. Telephone 0161 706 0062. Tàbí 074 603 53448. Ẹ tún lè kàn sí wọn lórí email wọn ní food@yettiskitchen.com. For more information, visit their website www.yettiskitchen.com. Yetti's Kitchen, the best Afro-British restaurant in Manchester.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, thank you to those who have been dropping their comment. So mo ti ń wo àwọn nǹkan tí àwọn èèyàn ń sọ sí ibẹ̀ yẹn. So it's like many people want us to change the show time to 9 p.m. 9 p.m. will be great. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Okay. So I think we have. I'm okay with timing. My suggestion is the first 10 minutes of every night should be flashback of the previous week. Okay, we can do that, but to be honest, even that 10 minutes, àwọn èèyàn ò tí ì turn up. Àwọn èèyàn gbórí wọlé. Ṣé màá dá bára mi sọ̀rọ̀ ni? So we need people to turn up as well on time. As you know, and waste time lórí show yìí. Èmi ò ń ṣe host tó jẹ́ pé ẹ máa dúró dè ń pé ń bo lọ́gbẹ́ni tí wọ́n á lọ báyìí. Mo ti máa wà ń bẹ̀. And tí n bá dẹ̀ ti kí yín tí mo ti ṣe, just àwọn little greeting yẹn straight away mo fẹ́ ká wọnú kíní because sometimes nǹkan tá a fẹ́ sọ pọ̀ time ò dẹ̀ sí fún wa. So ìta tí máa fi waste 10 minutes yẹn táwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ tí show up. We can do a lot with that 10 minutes. The shows are always there for people to catch up, Don't only wo again. We don't delete any shows. It's there on Yetti's wall. It's there on my wall. It's there on YouTube. So, people can catch up. That even àwọn late comer gan ló tiẹ̀ tún wá ń tètè dé lẹ́njọ́ mẹ́ta yìí gan, late comer kan ti behave, late comer kan ò behave o. Ẹ máa wo, mo fẹ́ gbé late comer kan wá. Ẹ wá gbó tí late comer lè délé ni. Ẹni gan dà báyìí. Where's that my Jesus baby? Ṣẹ́rí bá táwọn wọlé. A ti parí ọ̀rọ̀ tán kan tó dé. Ṣẹ́rí wọn. Àwọn nìyẹn late comer làwọn náà. But late comer kan adjust lénìí. Late comer ilé ló kọ́kọ́ wọlé lénìí, So if people turn up on time, we would be able to cover much. Àwọn rèé with pride. Anyway, so from hopefully from the next show, we will be going to 9 p.m. And also, many people said we should keep the phone line option, phone in option open. Ṣùpọ̀, they're pèrí o. Keep phone, pèrí o. And phone in option should please stay. With phone in, it's easier to share ideas and also those that rewatch like myself. Okay. Was the time perfect? Okay, so 9 p.m. we will be having the show moved to, that will be the new time we'll be having the show now. And also hopefully we can adjust. So we will discuss if it's not going to be from the next show. I'll let you know, but now at Imope we are free to move the show to 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. And also I will speak to Yetti's Kitchen to still give us a bit of time with the telephone. Nípa àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ lò tó bá dẹ̀ dín pàdé wàá lò ńgbà yẹn wọ́n lè wá bínú kan yọ kúrò ńbẹ̀. Thank you very much oníyanṣẹ́ ọlọ́kàṣe o, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fìfẹ́ bá mi jẹ́ náà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, ojú òní tì yín, kò ní dákú ẹ̀yin nìkan o, ẹ̀ní nìkan ṣe lé ayé yín ò ní bàjẹ́ o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń jáde bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé ẹ̀ní rámáyé o, ẹ̀ní sọnù, ìbàjẹ́ ayé ò ní kàn yín o, bó ti wù kó kéré mọ́ ẹ ò ní sọ nǹkan kan nù. There shall be no loss in your life. Ẹ ṣeun, mo dúpẹ́. Until we meet next week Friday, for another interesting discussion. Bóyá màá tún rí èèyàn gbé wá mi tiẹ̀ tí mọ̀, but màá tún wọnú ayé lọ. Bó bá ṣe jẹ́, á tún pàdé lọ́sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Thank you very much and God bless you.